Welcome back, my friends. So, a little bit of an update. I was going to just post a picture, but I figured, why not? We can do it with video. We can do this with video. So, I did the reflow. Like, completely cleaned the board with alcohol. Or IPA, whatever you want. Pick a name for it. Get a high percentage if you use an alcohol. I think IPA is 99, 97 is what you can find usually in most stores, or 93. But if you can get the higher, the better. Anyhow, cleaned the whole board very well. Pulled off the other EMI shields. After that, I reflowed the chip with a couple degrees Celsius hotter, and for a little longer, about 5 to 10 seconds longer, so about 45, maybe 50 seconds. This thing has been running rock solid through the night. I even put my sim in to use it myself. Used it last night, today. So we're going to get a display for it and probably ship it out to somebody. It's just going to be a donor, I guess, donor phone. Not going to have parts ripped off, but more of a giveaway. Anyhow, that is a pretty good phone. Nexus 5X, we're just going to put the display in it and to get rid of those cracks. And if it comes up with the same problem down the road, possibly able to be fixed. I don't know how many times you can reflow a chip, but for now it is working, and if it's free, you really can't complain. So let's put this thing back to rest and move on. We got another, brighten that up a little. It's probably not going to get any brighter. Yeah, that was to the, okay, that is to the positive side. Alright. Okay, so this came in. The customer wants us to check charging, so let's take a look already at the port. Did that really autofocus? It did. Okay, so there's the port. We can see that it is intact. It is, let me look at this thing. That's, I was going to say that's one of the smaller ones, but I guess it isn't. That's one of the bigger, the older Dell ones. So the port is intact. However, how long that's all going to stay intact, well, that's unknown. Here is the other issue. So when you go to open the laptop, you get that. So you got some hinge wanting to rip it apart. Let's find ourselves a trusty black mat. Solder. Love it. Alright, so we got a trusty black mat. Now, I've seen this problem exhibit in different ways. The more common one, well, it just all depends. If people notice this when it starts to happen, it ends up one way. And if they just notice it and don't care and use it, or never notice it, it can get worse. Let's see what variation of this problem we're going to have. I've seen it exhibit itself two different ways. One way, you have stuff broken. That's when they ignore it and don't take any care to do anything about it. And another way, it's very simple to resolve it. Regardless, we're going to completely check into it, other than just going with the easy route if it is the easier version of the problem. Okay, we have that. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a Dell Inspiron 7, and Dell Dell Inspiron 7000 series. What is it? Let me look here. So an Inspiron 15 7000 series. I'm actually going to go over and correct the description for that. Not that it matters now, but maybe it'll save my changes. So it's a Dell Inspiron 15 7000 series 7537 is the designator. If you want specs on that, go ahead. I don't have them all memorized, just the ones I like, and this was never one of the ones I was interested in. Although it does have the the foot system that I did like. This is, I think, a similar rubber foot system the whole way across that's on some of the newer Dells, like the XPS. Oh, I was pulling on the wrong part. Dummy. Alright, there we go. We've gained access. Now, before we go moving stuff around, there's nothing attached to that, obviously. Before you go moving around, take a look. This is the side with our problem right here, right? So whenever we start to open it, and the first time you tip it up, see if anything falls. It may be a screw. But when you open it, that's where it starts to spread apart. So that's the hinge problem. Being that I dealt with this before, this screw here, we're going to see if it's loose at all. Oh yeah. So that screw was completely loose. Now a way to fix this is simply, literally you just tighten it back down. Once you tighten it down, if it tightens down, that means nothing's broken inside. And so it was one of the hinge mounts that were broke loose. Now another one that helps hold the hinge in place is here. And this one, alright, we can take the screw out. Is it broken or not? Let's see if it actually tightens down. No, it does not tighten down. It'll thread in a little bit, but it will not actually tighten down. And let's see if we can get it back out now. No, so we need to completely do a tear down on this. Let's start with the battery, and we're going to see if we can fix that up so it is at least mounted together properly. Lay some of these out. So if you have one of these and that screw's not broken there, and it's this one loose, just tighten it back up and you should be good to go. Or you can proceed to do the entire rip down, the entire tear down, to see is there anything else broken inside. Alright. There we have our battery, a little bit of dust. Let's throw these with the battery and continue. Restream, why are you not picking up any channels? Where can I partially enable? Three out of 3. At least it caught that time. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. I'm going to get a hold of Restream chat tomorrow, I think, and see what's going on. That happens like every time it says that it can't find any channels. Undoubtedly it is streaming to it though. Let's see what you're doing, Dell. Do we have incoming? I heard doors. Alright. Anyhow, yeah, we're getting there. We got 2 to remove here, and then a few across the front, and we'll see if we can get into this thing yet. What's that? They should be. I didn't order nothing special on your side. I did on mine. I was like, I told them when I called that order, and I'm like, whichever side of that sandwich I'm gonna take, you better make it extra special.
They did it?
No, I doubt it. Alright, we got that one out finally. This trim plate ready to come off of here. Frank, help me, help me. It's laughing at me. Alright, oh, of course, I missed one right in the center. Typical. So this one is a different size than the rest. We're going to set him in a special spot there. And now it should, unless I'm missing more, it should attempt to come off of here. Let me look at it, because I'm going to feel pretty dumb when I look at it and realize where the other screw is that I'm missing. We may have to get into the top. Let's check that part out. I don't see why we would. Yeah, the keyboard, is that? Ah, well, let's check it out. The keyboard is partially removable. Is it? Yes, it is one. So let's take a look at the top side of this real quick. Let's see. Interesting, the keyboard backlight was not plugged in. Let's throw this on the back and check. Okay, so there may be 1 or 2 screws here that we need to extract to get that bottom off. A few ribbon cables. 5 counting the keyboard and the backlight. And does this give us our access that we want? Alright, indeed it does. It's going to let this bottom piece fall right off once you get those out. Don't pull, don't pry. Let's flip this down. He may have some actual oh yeah, we got some damage here. We're gonna have to rebuild it. Okay, so the one main screw. Let's try and adjust our camera. The one main screw, that screw that was loose in the bottom, is actually the one that went through this part of the hinge here. And then we have the one on the back that goes through, and then there's one inside. So this is the one that was under the cover. This is the one that was, here, we'll show you on the trim plate. This screw here is this one that comes loose that lets part of the hinge that needs to stay down come up. We're also, this whole hinge assembly here is missing a screw here. And if I'm looking at this correctly, yeah, the little brass piece is out from this one where this screw went in. That's why it would go in and spin and kind of just sit there, not really thread in. That could have fell out and been lost at any time. And we have one here that we need to get in to help the leverage of the screen. That just will help hold it that little bit. So we need to rebuild this down into there. We're probably going to do it with some hot glue if we can. We got some. I think we got some we can melt. What fun. What fun. Same thing. Here's the other side, internal one, and then the back one on the outer trim plate. This one's accessible without taking the bottom off. This one isn't. You got to take that first bottom panel off to get to that. Not one of my favorite computers, but they're not bad. While we're in here, we're going to check our paste, clean this out. Might as well. We have to disassemble it fully to get to that anyhow, so. Without pressing hard, putting actual body weight into it, it's not completely dried up and hard. It does have a slight bit of tack to it, but the seal between here, between the die, can we dim that down? There we go. The seal between the die on the processor and here, there is a massive, look at that, if it'll focus. Probably not. No, not so lucky today. Alright. Grab it. Get it, Sony. I believe in you. Okay. You can see that huge air gap. There was nothing. Never. So this is going to help it run a little cooler at least. Sad to say it, but usually factory application of thermal paste is garbage. Like how it comes from the actual manufacturer. There's some that are good, some that are better than others. Not all is bad, but usually the big box store budget computers, and then even ones, I've even seen some that you order straight from the manufacturer come with just garbage thermal paste installation. Then I've seen the other side of that coin is actual good thermal paste application from the budget computers. More often than not, it's not good. I guess it all depends. Whoever assembled it that day, was that worker mad Did they get yelled at the week before? The day prior? Yeah, that's whoever was assembling it. What was their mood? Where they at? Were they at a 0 or they up at a 10 for the day they were having? Somewhere in between. Yeah, no wonder you might not even get thermal paste. Soften this up with some alcohol. Yeah, we're picking this stuff up with tweezers, so it's definitely dried out. It's time. It has run its course for what it can do for your computer. Oh, that guy come up and got his copies too. He said that was great.
Oh, his copies.
Yeah, the paper I typed up for him, he liked it. I didn't have... Alright, clean enough. Let's work on this part. We're gonna scrape this off with our plastic tool. Alright, sir. Have a good one. Bye, Frank.
Don't say bye to him. He thinks it's forever.
Bye, Frank. Goodbye ain't forever. Goodbye till tomorrow. There he is.
Everybody out there, hey.
Yeah, well, I'm heading out here in a little bit and then probably scoot back down. We go see the Rugrats tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Have some fun.
I'm gonna get so you put this on for me.
Hey, yeah, I still gotta do that other plug in the tire. I only did one. It got too cold. I'm like, forget.
I found them other ones.
Yeah, I have a whole kit with the rasp and everything in it for reaming it out.
Yeah, that's what I had until I was looking for it.
Hey, you don't have that other glue gun handy, do you?
No, I didn't get it.
We're out of glue, man. I need some glue for this hinge. I guess we could JB weld it, possibly. Or epoxy. I think the epoxy's about dead.
The big sticks.
Yeah, giant ones.
What are they cost?
What?
$4 grand?
Well, I don't know, but they're like this long. I get mine out of True Value. They're super long. They're great. Those are the ones, they last in eternity. Where's this?
Not we're out.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. Where's this epoxy at? Did we really burn through the epoxy? We did? 5 minute.
I don't know. I have all different kinds of epoxy on my house.
Yeah, 5 minute quick set.
I think I do.
We're out of that, huh? I don't see JB Weld holding that, but for fun, we'll mix some up and see. Yep, I thought for sure that there was still more epoxy left, but I'm probably wrong on that one. Dead wrong. So the only thing we can do, we'll mix up some JB Weld. For it, we have it right now handy. It takes a while to dry is the bad thing, so this is something, sadly, we don't get to finish today. Even the epoxy would take a half hour, and I'm not going to sit here and just let the stream run. I do have other stuff to do that we can do while it starts setting. Just cleaning off my little mixing tool. I left epoxy on it. Shame on me. Ruining these free plastic tools that they give you with any screen that you buy. Alright, now let's...
Wow.
Would you find a case of 1,000? That'd be great.
It's that gorilla, they make hot glue gun sticks. Wood sticks. Here's some large ones. Nah, they're not good. I like that. Oh, got old temperatures and everything in this one. I'm buying that.
Oh, you can mix up in there. That shouldn't hurt it. What we got here? That's the hardener. What happens if you put even more hardener in JB Weld? Does it harden quicker? No? I didn't think so.
It kind of leaves like a, well, there really is no hardener in JB Weld. JB Weld's just a one-to-one mix.
Right, that's the only way you can mix it. But if you, other stuff, if you add more hardener, it will harden quicker.
Well, that's like putty, stuff like that.
Yeah. Or epoxy. If you do separate mix epoxy, and then you throw like double the hardener in, that stuff will. Alright, we got steel in a tube. And we have hardener in a tube. I can attest to this stuff does not work on a mission critical job like the leg of like a quadcopter or a drone. The leg that holds a motor at the end that's vibrating and spinning thousands of RPMs a minute. Yeah, mission critical jobs JB Weld does not hold up to. Not when there's lots of vibration and stuff. But to hold a little grommet in, possibly we can make this work.
Alright, let me get down and get that done.
Alrighty.
Write down on one of them tabs there where all you need me to get in for you. Right.
What do you mean?
Anything like hot glue or wax.
We need a bunch of stuff, man.
You need that 5-minute epoxy.
5-minute epoxy. It's all, but I mean, we can order it or we can run right up the street and get it for it's $5. I mean, it's good to have on hand, you know.
I have them down there. I just those are ones.
I have them at home too, but they're not fixing nothing in this situation, are they? See?
Come on, big ass. Alright, I'll see you later on then.
See ya. Oh, shit. Ooh, unplugged my mic. Are we back? Okay, we're back. Alright, so why mix this up whenever we're not there yet? Why? Because I want it to start hardening a little. It's going to lay itself out. I understand this flat, but we're going to scrape it down to the one edge. But you know what? Can we get this up right like it is? That would be... Yeah, that's even less teardown. Alright, I like that. So not only that, we have two that are broken. Completely broken out. So, that one actually holds the charger in. I'm just taking a look here. So that holds the charger in. That's that. Really, we need a new top case. That's sad. Very sad. I know, yeah, no, the keyboard don't come out. It's not even close to the same. Boy, I somehow I think hot glue would work better for that. In that, right there in that little spot. It just seems like it would work like... What is the hold up there? Why won't that shut? Okay, it's the hinge. So let's lift that up. We're going to throw our JB Weld in there and our little brass piece. And then squash it back down and hopefully it sits steady. The thing is, we could just take and have the one screw that sits up here holding it, and then the one in the back don't even hold it. And then we have one on the side, I believe, maybe. Or we're missing a screw, I don't know. It's going to rip these loose because they're not all where they need to be. So, let's throw some of this in there. We may need a little more around our little brass piece. Probably the best way to do this, at least the way I've always done it, to get it in an accurate spot, is take and hold it with some pliers. We need to get the screw that's going to hold it. It's not going to hold it permanently, but it's going to hold it till this stuff dries. Can we lift that? No, it won't lift up. Should know better than that. Let's go ahead and get this. Alright, that's in. Yeah, hot glue is much better. You can kind of see what you're dealing with, how well it's going to hold, versus you got to wait and give this time. Of course, we got stuff in the way. So then after, you know, we need the smaller pliers. This just isn't going to work. We need something longer, thinner. If we have to, we'll use the tweezers. So I take and hold the little brass piece. and then start threading it onto the screw. We're going to thread that down tight for now. We just lost another piece of plastic off the top. And we're going to push this back into place. We're going to mount a screw there, and one there. We need to find one. So it's a M2 by L2.5. We can find a short one of those. We're going to wind one in there now to help hold that down. And then we're going to fill in a little more here. A little more JB Weld under that hinge. And wow, that charger is rough. There's a screw that actually goes under there. And it's not in. Let's find it now. Let's see what thread it is before this goes too much further. It's another 2.5, so we need two very short little laptop screws. Let's see if this will work for our adapter. It does, it threads. Alright, that will hold it in place a little better, and then we need one more of those, possibly a little shorter. What you do with screws, find a container and save them. Separate your laptop and desktop, but they will get mixed from time to time. You may not use them all, but you will definitely use a lot. Alright, we've got two options here. Let's check this one, as it has a shorter shank on it, where the threads go. What we don't want to do is wind up through the case, and that is actually grabbing. Wrong head on it. I mean, it's a Phillips head, wrong style head, but let's see if this one, that threads as well. Alright, that's in. Let's go ahead and wind. We're going to wind one in there and then fill that in. One thing we do need to do, because of how the trim plate clicks around the edge, is we need to be careful around the edge, and we're going to have to actually clean that off. But for now, we're going to pack it in under the hinge. to grab, and then when the screw comes through the outside. The main job of this stuff is just holding that brass in where the plastic's broken and the other one. And we don't want to get any on the hinge. That could hamper how it hinges. I don't think it will. Alright, now time to clean off where our trim plate would click in. Anything right there, and that. You know, it's this is dodgy as all hell. When you can just get a new bottom case, but then there's a problem. What do you say? You don't try and help somebody out and fix their computer if they don't want to buy a bottom case, or just deny repair at all, or attempt to do something for somebody. It's a little dodgy, but it should hold, at least for a little while. Especially with all the screws in and tightened down, that will definitely help. I'm trying to think where the problem lies, what I'm missing. That really, no way that squeezed up out. Oh no, it's just another part, okay. Alright, so we have that. We're going to let that dry as is. Sadly, we got to set it off to the side, and we'll finish up this other thing quick. It is the 6 o'clock hour. I'm going to go spend some time with the Rugrats, but I do also want to take a moment and finish up something else that I've got going on here. So we're going to throw the battery and everything up in here. We have our screws laid out, our heat sink. We will rebuild this possibly tomorrow. Another thing too that is proof of just because you do something once and it fails, don't be afraid to try it again and modify slightly, as is evidenced with this Nexus 5X. The second time worked. It's still going strong. It hasn't rebooted or shut itself off and went back into a boot loop through the night. So still going, still good as of, I mean, this has been, I don't know what time I did that stream yesterday, but it's been, if we're not hitting 24 hours, we are very, very close. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to take our trusty black mat over here and set it with the laptop. Alright, this thing has found a home and is leaving. we're going to pull the board. We have quite a bit to do to this. Not a whole lot. I guess it's not as bad as it sounds. I'm going to go ahead and snap the front bezel back off. We have some cleanup in this area to do, and we need to release this fan in its housing. And there we go. And then unplug from the motherboard. You can see we've got some dirt to deal with. We need to get it all out of there, out from under the board. So we're going to do a quick as we can disassemble of this unit. Which way do you slide? That way. And up. Very good. Now, does the cage come out, or is that more of a permanent stay? It seems pretty permanent. Suppose we could undo one screw. Let's brush it off while it's in there as is. We'll remove this and unplug it. We're going to get all these cables out of our way and broom the inside of the case, and then take the compressor to it. One, two, three, four. Everything from the front panel. Does that pop out? We can undo, what, one screw and have that fall out of there and clean it as well? Why not, right? Why not, or why? Which question's better? Oh wow, how much of a regret is this going to be, pulling this out of here right now? How much are we going to hate life when we got to fish it all back through there? Okay, so some definite buildup. We're going to get that cleaned off. We're going to clean all this stuff off. Let's get the motherboard pulled out of this case. I don't want to lose any of our stuff for the Dell. Is that right? Or see if we can jump up one size. Does it have a more comfortable fit? Nope. I'm a dummy. Don't follow me off that cliff, people. Alright, we're taking job applications for people to type in the chat. Who wants hired? It's free labor. We'll give you free typing courses. Learn how to type. Learn how to type if you don't know how. And then we have to undo, I believe, well, a few more. And then the ones for the CPU cooler, actually. pulled this board in this case. I don't know if you can tell. Let's take a look quick. Darken up a little. That actually had a seal the way across the thermal paste, not that dried out. You can see where it pulled away. So we're gonna have to redo that, which is fine. Let's get our board out of the case and clean the bottom of it off if there's any dirt on it. Remember, this is the one we just installed. We're gonna go ahead and start working on all this stuff. Well, yeah, it definitely caught a few dust bunnies sitting in there. The board itself is clean, as we just ordered this in. The only dust on it is a light layer around the ports, which builds up after a few days and just gets heavier. But around the I/O shield on the back, what a shame. I don't want to undo all those zip ties. They got like three or four of them on there. So we're gonna leave it. Leave it as is, zip tied together, and just clean off what we have access to. It's not brand new, but far, far, far better than it was. The thing was covered. We should split those apart and just wipe those down. What the heck? It's what, 2? What do they got going on here? Let's see what they're trying to fool us with. So the yellow goes on top of the blue with the... No, yellow goes on top of the green with the blue in front of that. Of course we have zip ties. Are you kidding me? Let's get some cleaning goods. We don't want to soak any of these ports when we do it. And it's not going to hurt to get the cables, excuse me, cables wet. Sounded like I was going to cry for a second. Damn. Alright, as long as none of that runs down in to the switch or the other end where it plugs into the motherboard, we are good. I don't know, just can't let some dirt go, you know? Especially this thing, it was excessively dirty. What do you got going on there? A bunch of ground wires. And not screwed on, actual soldered on ground wires. What do we think? Was there any dirt left over after brimming that whole thing off and cleaning it? Wasn't horrible, but there's definitely some stuff. We got stuff. Watch out. We got stuff. Alright, zip tie it back together. We need 2 of these. And I said yellow on top of green with blue off to the side. We can see our old marks where they strap together. Let's go ahead and line those up and ratchet this around. Yellow on top of green, blue in the front. And then again, got that one there, and then one here, one to go. Let's make this disappear up here to this side. Same with this, we're going to attempt to spin it. Yeah, that's not happening. One, two. Let's clean this case out and get this assembled as fast as possible. I'm gonna let this sit off to the side. I want to keep, if any cleaner did run down in here or run toward the ends, we don't want it. Don't want to plug it in right away. Alright. What is that, a PC speaker? Indeed. Well, get out of the way. Does it even look like there's dirt in there? Let's drop that a little. There is, I promise you. And with that, where? Oh, you're permanently there. You almost fooled me. Let's put that down. Give it a good brush over. One other thing we need to do. How does that come out? Does it literally? Oh, 2 screws. Okay, I'm like, what? 2 screws and our fan pops out of this. This little thing. Let's disassemble it and get ready. All those Torx screws. And you're going to switch over to Phillips. That's just because they don't make a Torx fan screw. HP doesn't have the technology, everything great they do. And they can't make a Torx fan screw. HP, what happened? I believed in you. You let me down. And fan's off. Let's clean this housing. We're going to take some time on the fan. We'll dump this right into the case. That way we can carry it all, whatever makes it, outside. Blast it out with air. Well, that's going all through the air. Don't even make sense. Another way to do this would be go rinse it off, but then you either got to dry it really well, which can be bothersome and be a pain if you rinse it off and use water, or brush it off and then use some kind of cleaner that evaporates, Windex or glass cleaner, alcohol. Alright, there's most of that. I'm going to actually spray this off a little bit. I smoke, vape, and well, I have vaped, but I smoke cigarettes. Yeah, not good, I know, but whenever you're cleaning something and you smoke and you can smell that it stinks, that should say something about why it definitely needs a good cleanup. Wherever this fan and fan housing came from, it was separate from the computer. What a nightmare. Alright, and Q-tip. Not a sponsor. We just happen to be using them. Get the last bit of cleaner out of the corners and the dirt that smoke, whatever it is, resides with it. Cleaning that out as well. Alright, let's take a look here again. Not new. However, I'm going to say right now, not bad. Bad. Considering what it was, how it was. I'm going to check the outside edges of this quick. The fan's going to be the real fun part. We'll do that one right here under the camera so you can see my goofy process for cleaning a fan. But if you ever do clean out a PC or clean a PC that belongs, or yeah, used by, around smokers, this is what you can expect. Definitely what you can expect. Depending when, if, how long it was there, whole bunch of variables. It will change. Let's move the case. We're going to move the case to this one. Our grill's clean. Actually, before we tackle that fan, I think we're going to go, I'm going to mute and go and blow the air compressor out. So give me a minute. Let's have a look at this quick. And I'm going to go inside the case quickly. Just a quick, I'm going to see if we can clean up this spot here. No, that's not coming off there without some tough, who knows what. Worlds cleaner than it was, just with brooming and then going through with the air. The other side of this case, this part, so the sides, I guess it would be, what do you want to call it, this side over here, this side, and then the whole bottom section is riveted on, so we can't pull that off to get between the back plate and the side panel. I wish we could. I guarantee there's some stuff back there. Who knows how much, but there's some. Alright, where are we going to go with this? What can we do? Oh, yes. I forgot. How dare I forget? Let's see what kind of mess we end up with. This should be fun. Get back there, arm. We have that culprit. Take that down, focus on that. It's a different color to look at it. Does that wash it out? What if we brighten the light up? Does that get us anything? So we definitely got some work cut out for us here. Best thing I found, go either replace the fan, go over it with a Q-tip, knock out what you can. You could even use a broom. I just don't want to get all this level of sticky gunk in that broom. I use it on a lot. So we'll hit it with the disposable mini brooms. The disposable double-ended mini broom. Cotton swab. I didn't know, I don't have a PWM fan this size. Funny enough, I needed a PWM fan in the power supply this size, but this was out of the front of the case. And we definitely didn't have time to clean this down the other day. Alright, so that's almost it for round one. We're going to make a round around this and knock some of the heavy stuff off, and then we'll go back through. So that's what we ended up with so far. Yuck. Yuck. Alright. Round two. We're going to use what we went through the inside of the case with, refold it. Apply cleaner and start getting where we can you want to avoid getting as much dust and liquid down in the motor as possible. So try to keep liquid, dust, debris. You don't want anything getting in there. Air, if anything. You got a bearing in there, depending on what type it is. Could be detrimental to its function. Or it is detrimental to its function. You don't want to jam that up with a bunch of muck like this. I can also testify that if you do smoke cigarettes or even vape, you cannot end up with fans with the inside of your computer. Even if you smoke right beside it, you cannot end up with it like this if you clean it regularly, like pull it apart and clean it every couple months. Alright, for this we're going to employ the use of some alcohol We're going to get alcohol in a tub. So we have that, and that's merely just to put our Q-tip into, and we're going to start going around doing a more thorough, detailed cleanup. See, this is where a time lapse and kick everything in high speed would be very useful. But like I said, I try to keep it as real as possible. Like, if you were to take this task on, what can you expect? How long will it take? Well, now you know. This is how long. This is how dirty. To come in and just straight clean up with alcohol from the get-go, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying I've done it, and it leaves a residue if you don't at least get some of this off of there to begin with. It seems to leave some kind of residue that it's like this brown smear. Oh, hello, we're closed. Huh. I wonder what they want. Give me a moment, people. Boy, that was a local number, but clearly not a local guy. They spoofed a number of a local business here, and were calling about my home insurance for the place that I rent. Come on, man, if you have to spoof your number to get people to answer, get a different job. Don't work there. Find something else to do with your time. I understand people need jobs, but come on, damn. You gotta lie about who you are, who you're representing, what desk you're sitting at. You gotta lie about that. So now, just simply going around one side of these fan blades a few times. The dirt is getting less with each pass, so then we get to flip it over and do it all over again on the other side of the fan blades. I wonder how our JB Weld is making out. Alright, that was round 2. We will fold this up and go for round 3. On this side, grab a couple of our double-sided mini brooms. Go for the alcohol, and let's start getting these blades. The underside always seems to be like a bit of a different texture, rougher. I don't know how to say it. It seems rougher, I guess, but they seem to take more passes to come clean than the top side of the blades. I don't know how that would be when it's made out of the same material. Could be crazy, just making it up in my head, but it's just the way it seems. I could see why they would want the underside to be rougher. It would make sense, I think, as far as drag, and it would throw more air downward possibly, but it makes absolutely no sense how they do it. How could you make a fan with the blade rough on one side, rough on the bottom, smooth on top? Don't make sense. We're talking crazy. The alcohol fumes is getting to us. Woo! Alright, it's almost time to go see these kiddos. So, we're going to wrap this build up. I'm going to go for done instead of perfect. Trust me when I say it is worlds cleaner than it was. You should be able to at least hopefully see that. Let's give this another shot. On this side of the blades, yeah, it's getting very, very light. We missed one. So after going a full round on the blades, that's what we have. Let's go over the outside, get these little nooks and crannies. And what else? What else? What else? I'll grab one or so more to run over. I'm gonna attack the front side of these quickly, and then go around the outer housing and be done with it. This is boring, but if you were trying to clean up a smoke dust infested case, these would be your results, or worse. So not so bad. Alright, now time for a higher gear. We know this clicks in. Which way does it click in? And that will tell us which way the fan goes. Hello, who are you? We're going like that, so we know the fan, we want it to blow. It's going to sit there. And we have 2 screws to put in. 1 and 2. Check this just in case, make sure there's no emergency. Alright, and one more message. Come on, phone. I don't want any gifts. Alright, now put this together. Oh, getting dry in here. Dusty. Alright, so there. Is that? Did I not tighten that? Am I just a fool imagining this? No, it. It actually went down. Okay, there is our fan. Quickly, we're going to clean our CPU. Clean that thermal paste off of there. Even though we just put this on, what, last week? Was it? Clean that off. Clean it from our whatever that, what is this thing? A heat sink. I'm going to hit both those quickly with some alcohol and then rebuild this thing and do an actual boot test. Alright, one is done. Ooh, hiccup, excuse me. And one done. Two is done as well. We can check it in the system, but this is, what is it, DDR3? The Core i5 3470, not the best CPU, not the worst either. And for a computer that is well under $100, yeah. I'm going to say not bad as well. Okay, first and foremost, let's do the nightmare that's going to fight us the most. Input our I/O and these things back through this hole here. This is going to be a nightmare. I'm going to try and make it halfway efficient. The blue one. Little blue plug. Why didn't you believe in me? I believed you could do it. I knew you could do it. Even on a Tuesday, I didn't doubt you, not once. Get through there. Alright. Let's put you back where you came from. We have... Did I press that switch out on accident? I did. Well, that's why it won't go back in there like normal. Got one. You know what? I'm just gonna quit playing with it and fighting. Get in there. Alright, front IO partially in. Here is the screw. We'll set this in. Have our cables there, and our fan. Should we do the fan now? No, we'll do the fan last. I just want to make sure this is indeed going to go in. Okay, so it does. It will sit there easily. Let's go for the motherboard. We're up as far as we can be. And this is the one that was a little tough going in. Yeah, the back panel's just bent slightly. Everything does line up. We're gonna put thermal compound down, and then attach our heat sink. Actually, let's do that in a different order. Let's throw a couple screws in that aren't our heat sink to hold our board. I think this is, was this the plan last time? It might have been. It might have been. Right, we have one. And who's next? You? Sure. So we have those ones holding everything in place. Let's do our thermal compound here. That's a bit much. I think it'll squash it. Alright, remember this. If you're doing this, look at your cutout. This is much deeper. It gets you away from your capacitors and coils right there. So you're definitely going to want that action going on, not the other way around. Alright. Big nuisance, where are you? Black is up front. And we have our speaker wire. I know you can't see this, but we'll talk about it anyhow. Boy, maybe we should put speaker wire in first. Nope, we got it. Then we need our blue. Our blue header is next. Blue, green, and yellow. What? And that should take a lot. Ooh. Oh, I get it. I see why. I see the problem already. Why it's not lining up great. It's that blue wire. Did you get zip tied in the wrong direction? There, much better. Okay. Blue is not pulled back. They're all straight up and down. Looks good. Let's feed our SATA cables through. These were not much fun either. And it's going to be for the ROM. That would be our hard drive. Alright, and looking at our ports, what is that? 0, 1, 2, and 3 SATA? Ah, okay. So 0, 1. Our optical drive to the second port, hard drive to the first. Hard drive is there. That will take the twist. That comes up. I wonder, would this lock in there with the other stuff? Possibly. Alright, and we need this wire. Literally came over. One plugs into the hard drive. One comes up through for the optical. We lock that in. The optical have the hard drive. This is fairly clean. We're going to slot it in. No, we're not. And coming off of this power rail, we have the hard drive on the first SATA power position. Generally, that's how I do it. Can you do it another way? Yes, certainly. But I like the first. I don't like to extend them out by too many SATA ports, like no more than usually 2. I'll just use a new run if I have to, which we have room for one here. But I always technically put the hard drive on the first plug. And where is our data cable? Data. Right there. Let's drop this in. Is that it? Wow, what was it? Drop it in, that's locked. We'll go for, our ROM is fairly clean as well. I think this had to be down. Did it have to be down to pull it out? You know what? I take that back. I don't think, maybe our SATA cable was in there to avoid pinching and binding. Alright. That's in. Last, not least, we're going to do motherboard screws and then stick our power supply in, hook it up, and do the boot test and get out of here for the day. We need to let our JB Weld dry. I'm going to let it dry overnight. I'm not even going to try hinging that thing now. There's just no way. I don't want to break any bond, any of the little bit of bond it's going to have. I don't want to risk breaking that loose whatsoever. No I/O cards on this. It does have room for like a PCI 1X wireless card or any other, extra USB 3 ports. We do have a PCI slot and a PCI Express full length slot, so you could get like a low profile, either single or double slot made for a small form factor case. That's what I mean by low profile graphics card, and put in there and really bump the performance of this up. And you could probably play some older games or some even newer games on low settings with this hardware. The i5, I don't know that it would pass for current AAA titles, but I do know that I use an i5 at home and it plays games great. It's only a 960 that's in the case, so between the i5 and the 960, I do get to play some games on it. Alright, we have, I like that rubbing RAM like that. I'm gonna, yeah, there's no room. That would just rip it if we were to pull that up. Okay, that's in, that's in. We need, what, our fan, power supply, and that should be it. So let's plug our fan in to the board. We have our fan. I'm going to set that in. And where are you? One little latch? Amazing. I dig it. Alright. And finally, the conclusion. Oh yeah, I did come back in zip tie. You can see it right there. I just reused the old one. I forgot I'd set that aside, reused it, put it back through. It's keeping it away from any sharp edges or bind points. Not that somebody should be in here simply doing this. You know, nobody needs to be in there winding that back and forth, stressing that wire that much. But vibration will cut it too. You know, vibration from hard drives and fans spinning, so that's more of the reason that that is even done. And bring this up to our 12 volt rail. On this case, it is, boy, can we, I want to see if we can keep these SATA data wires away from that. Worked wonders. I dig it. All right, now they are away from our actual heatsink. And that should help hold them and hold itself. What do we say? A lot cleaner than originally it was. I'm gonna say good. Let's do our front bezel up here. Let's slide that back. Set this on. Latch everything in place. Finishing touch. Other than that, you know what? We'll keep it off just to make sure our fans are spinning, everything's good. Then we'll put that on. Alright, we're gonna go out to OBS display port. We need internet. The mouse, the keyboard, and some sound. Let's get a power wire. Optical drive does indeed work. Let's check OBS. Do we got a spinner? We don't have a mouse and keyboard. Ah, that hurt. Tripping on side panels in here. Let's get our wireless mouse and keyboard. Don't be bleeding ankle. And it may not. This may be the one that was a nuisance to get going. Let's try and activate, deactivate real quick. We'll try deactivate and then activate. There's our, oh, we got it. And we only have a first name there, I realize. Actually, y'all can't see it because I got it covered. But we're going to go ahead, hit enter, hopefully, to log it in. I have to bring up my settings again. Oh, okay, so it did log in. Let me remove the black screen. I do that for when there's people's names there. And we're in our computer real quick. We'll take and look at our device manager and see. Also go in here to control. So we did what? Device manager, which takes a sec, and control panel. It's pulling two things from the same place. What is that? Wrong mouse. My apologies. Okay, device manager. Hopefully they're all there. And they're good. I don't think we'll need any Intel HD. We need a driver for that, so we're going to go out and get the driver. However, not tonight. Yeah, maybe we'll get it now. Core i5 3470 CPU, 3.20 gigahertz. It does have, I don't know how much RAM in it. Can we can't even see that here. We can see it on our other page, correct? 4 gigs, 3.88 usable. Not bad. Some of that is going for system memory. And there are still 2 available RAM slots. If we have it, I think I'm going to throw it in there just to give this computer the added benefit of the extra RAM. 4 gigabytes seems a little lackluster. So let's see if we can't find this driver, SATA driver quick. Did I download any? That'd be a blessing if I already did that, but I don't think I did. Downloads? Negative. I want a SATA controller. We're going to see what we can do about getting this driver. Unable to find drivers for your product. You know what my product is. Choose a different OS. Windows. I'll take the Windows 8.1 64-bit driver. That's as close as we're going to get. Okay. Wow, a lot of drivers. Alright, storage. RAM storage technology. Download more drivers. Are you going to go back through the whole... Yeah, search, search, search. Boy, I don't know if we need it. There's no webcam on this thing. Are you kidding me, HP? We don't need the wireless mouse and keyboard applet. It's long gone. I mean, we will try it. Those are actually some... Oh, did I do it? I did. I'm dumb. Super dumb, yeah. Okay, what else did I click down here? SSOL for 8X. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to actually skip it like I originally wanted to do. Firmware driver storage, and we got that one. Network. Our driver's probably going to be newer. However, we'll get it. And here's what bricks our computer. That is stupid BIOS update. What number is it? 95971. I got these. Yes. Alright. We're gonna do the BIOS update last. We'll see what happens when we go through these. Let's minimize. We're gonna minimize. Is it yelling at me? No. Alright, and where? There's our driver. I have no choice but to accept. I guess I should have kept that blown up resolution. Let's drop it to something a little more readable. At least for me. It may be great for anybody watching this. D1440 benign. Keep the changes just for now. We're going to go ahead and restart this later. Not now. What do we have? This. Show folder. That clock's way off. We got to adjust that. 10, 15, 4, 6, 4, 8, 8, and 9. We'll do the BIOS last. Let's see what happens. If it's not meant for it, it shouldn't install. You know what? We're going to hit cancel on this one. I'm not entirely sure, and without researching it, I don't want to do something that we don't need. The Intel AMT, yes, but the SOL 8.XX, yeah, that part is a little... That's the BIOS. We'll do that one last. Just the date and time. Set the time zone automatically. Find where I'm at. Update. Give me a time. Sync now. Tell me what time it is. .412 in what world? Not this one. There we go. Alright, definitely time to get rolling. We set those, the clock's updated. Okay, so it contains newer drivers than what we're trying to install. And finally, are we turning this thing into a paperweight? Are we? We could. Wouldn't be the first time a BIOS file went bad. BIOS flash. Okay, there's probably more to that. We're just gonna not do that right this second. It's supposed to HTM, not HTML, HTM. Regardless, it works. The drivers are in. Let's check our device manager one more time. I want to see standard SATA, HCI, update driver, browse. Let me pick. Do we have? Okay. Let's hit next. Got it. That would have happened upon the restart. And we're going to click yes for the restart. Alright, there you have it. That was in a couple different videos, complete refurbishment of an HP Compact Pro 6300 small form factor PC. New motherboard, entirely cleaned out. It's not brand new, but it's being had for well under $100. So, not a bad computer. And the best part, when we put this on, we're not going to get from a loud fan like we did the first time we did that. That was amazing. A little shocking, embarrassing that it went that loud. Oh, and one other thing. Do I have enough room to stand that up? I think I do. Let's go back to the repair. It's booting back up. I want to check one thing. I'm certain I already checked this, but we'll check it. Check it while we're here hanging. Why not? Doing the hurry rush cleanup. Put that away. That, you go away, you over, away, away. Did it freeze? Certainly it did. We'll flip off that while it logs in. Put a few tools away and get out of here. We got those. Sadly, we'll take this with us. We didn't get to it. We'll get to it later. It's our lunch at dinner. A quick check of... Are we there? We are there. Alright, system still booting. Our icons loading. Good, good, good. See, I hate when you install drivers. It always seems that until you boot and then do a reboot, stuff just doesn't work as expected. Like, it seemed faster the other way would be when we had that other SATA driver in there. Regardless, it's up, it's running, it's good to go. Thank you for hanging out and watching the status of our stuff. Let's see if we got... Well, the tool definitely set in the mixing bin. And we will check here. I guess we shouldn't check with the tool that we mixed with. We use the X-Acto knife. We can clean that off. So it is. It's not hard, but it is setting up. We're going to let it go overnight and see what kind of bond we can get on that. Anyhow, thank you for tuning in, hanging out, listening to the ramblings of a madman. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon. Certainly it has to be one of those on this glorious flat earth. You love it? If you love it like I do, if this is your thing, tech, fixing, tinkering, and you like it, share it. Like this, share this, get it out there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with something. I think we'll go on camera and just log zip ties together. It's a good plan. Admit it. Jealous you didn't think of it first. Anyhow, have a good evening, people. We're shutting this down. See you then. Thank you.